After the injury, the insult. Days after Mulayam Singh Yadav said that there are no riot victims in relief camps in and around Muzaffarnagar, the Uttar Pradesh government has given itself a clean chit, ruling out cold as a reason for death of infants and children at these relief camps. In fact, Uttar Pradesh's Principal Secretary Home, A.K. Gupta, went on record to say if people died of cold, nobody would have survived in Siberia. This despite ground report on headlines today, on Aaj Tak, on the TV Today network, exposing the situation on ground zero, the condition in which people are barely surviving in and around those relief camps in Muzaffarnagar. But before we move on in this bulletin, let's listen in to the callous statement of Mr. Gupta.
जो हमारे पास रिपोर्टेड है, 2-3 केसेस 4 केसेस ऐसे हैं जिसमें उन्होंने निमोनिया बताया है। ठंड से मरा कोई नहीं बताया है। ठंड से कभी मरता कोई नहीं। अगर ठंड से मरते तो साइबेरिया में कोई ना बचता।
Another shocking comment coming from none other than Uttar Pradesh's Principal Secretary. First, it was Netaji, and now top officials in Akhilesh Yadav's government who insist and that there are no lapses on their part. Nobody is dying of cold. Instead, they seem to be mocking the victims. The report prepared by the Uttar Pradesh government says most children died outside relief camps due to reasons like premature birth, diseases like dysentery and pneumonia, ailments like pneumonia. The report further goes on to say that victims preferred taking their children to private hospitals and private medical practitioners. That is where maximum deaths happened and not in state government hospitals, and that is why the state government cannot be held responsible in any way for these deaths. And Headlines Today's Amir Haq now joins me for more on this shocking story. Amir, you've travelled to these relief camps in Muzaffarnagar. Headlines Today has exposed the conditions in which people are living in these relief camps. Explain the callous statement that the UP government, right from this official who made this statement, Principal Secretary Home, to Samajwadi Party Chief Mulayam Singh Yadav. How are they making such callous statements?
Well, Gaurav, it is very, very obvious that this is not just a bureaucrat, this is not just an officer of the UP government which is giving out, who's giving out such a statement. It's obviously the mandate of the government that he's saying that there have been no deaths because of the relief camps in Muzaffarnagar and Chandni. Well, there were 3 points on which basically we were expecting this report to be. One, that these deaths happened, 43 plus deaths happened in relief camps. That happened because of cold. Second, did really happen within the premises of the relief camps that were being held by the government. Third, that there was actually lack of medical facilities within these relief camps, which finally led to these deaths. But on all these 3 fronts, the state government seems to be in a denial mode, and they clearly said that deaths might have happened because of certain diseases, but they didn't happen because of cold. Now, pneumonia, we all know, or dysentery, we all know, might have, and it is very regular to say that they will happen.
And the condition on ground zero, Amir, you have visited these camps. Headlines Today has reported from these camps. The condition is deplorable, to say the least. But before I move on in this bulletin and get you more reactions on this story, let us once again listen in to Mr. A.K. Gupta, the Principal Secretary Home, Uttar Pradesh government. Is he mocking the victims here when he says if people died of cold, nobody would have survived in Siberia?
जो हमारे पास रिपोर्टेड है, 2-3 केसेस 4 केसेस ऐसे हैं जिसमें उन्होंने निमोनिया बताया है। ठंड से मरा कोई नहीं बताया है। ठंड से कभी मरता कोई नहीं। अगर ठंड से मरते तो साइबेरिया में कोई ना बचता।
And the problem here, Amir Haq, is that if these top officials do not even realize there is a problem, there is no way they'll move ahead to solve those problems. You have been to these camps. Describe to our viewers the condition in which the internally displaced people are living in these camps.
Well, absolutely, Gaurav. We have reported at length on the condition of these people who've been stand there in the relief camps, they are not ready to go back to their homes because they fear reprisal, they fear the opposite camp, attacking them, and that was the reason why they initially moved on to these relief camps. And because the government here absolutely seems to be unmindful of the problems therein. And here in this report, which was actually sought by the Supreme Court of India on the 12th of this month, after a detailed investigation, they've come out giving a clean chit to themselves on their own. And they are saying that, there actually has been no death because of cold. And we've witnessed and we've seen and we've also shown it on headlines today as well, that there have been numerous cases where people have not been attended. Okay. There have been precarious medical facilities at the relief camps, that people have died within the relief camps itself, and that there was a lack of medical facilities which was open to all. I mean,
and this clearly is adding insult to injury. Amir Haq, for the moment, many thanks for joining me. Keep tracking that story. I will come back to you for more.